Hello, everyone, and welcome to the post show live chat discussion of Bachelor in Paradise Week 6, Night 2. Welcome, everybody. We are right at the end. There is one more episode of Paradise to come. For those of you who are joining us after the fact, welcome. The recaps and preview breakdowns will be coming soon enough. This is a place where we're just going to be discussing what just happened on the show, what we think might be happening in the episodes to come, and we're just going to get our live reaction to everything. So, welcome. And we really only have two rules here. Number one, no outright spoilers, though, we're pretty much right at the end here. And in the chat, just please be kind to each other. That's it. So yeah, this is it. We are getting down to the wire. The couples are figuring out what the heck they want to do, and we're gonna see everything play out next week. There's gonna be an after the final rose where we're not only gonna see couples get back together. That's a big one I want to talk about. But if couples are still engaged, still together, if they left not engaged, but still as a couple. And then, of course, the next Bachelor. So that's going to be announced officially next week. Is JPJ going to excuse me. Whoa. Is JPJ going to propose? No. Who knows? So there are times where I would have said, no way is that person going to propose, and they did. One thing that comes to mind is when Benoit proposed at the end of Bachelor Winter Games. Just completely out of nowhere, this kind of crazy... That couple didn't last very long, but still. So I won't say no outright, but I'm thinking it's going to be something not... It's going to be a kind of charming JPJ joke thing where it'll be a nugget or something. It won't be a nugget, but it'll be something that's not a ring. But definitely, I think for sure we're going to find that JPJ and Tayshia are going to get back together. So either they already got back together before the airing of the After the Final Rose, or they're going to get back together on the After the Final Rose, like what happened with Astrid and Kevin, when Kevin broke up with her, and then he asked her to get back together with him on the After the Final Rose. Oh no! Check JPJ what he said and what he said tonight. Oh, I haven't checked here. I'll while we're going through it, I'll check my Instagram, see what John Paul Jones said. 'Tis better to have loved and lost than to have never loved. Is this what you're talking about? Loved at all? 'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all? Is that the one you're talking about there? Yeah, Tayshia didn't say she couldn't get there. She just said that she wasn't there yet. And yeah, it was this sort of like crazy dramatic moment where JPJ then walks off and she runs after him, and then he picks her up, and then they both just leave, and it's like, what is going on? So yeah, Tayshia deleted the post on the boat. That was the thing that people caught from their Instagram way early on in the season, where they were both on the same boat. And we've talked about it on this channel that it proves that they or most likely that they are still together after the show. And especially with seeing that kind of shot from the preview for next week where JPJ gets down on one knee and she kind of goes, "Oh, John Paul Jones," it seems for sure that they're going to get back together. So yeah, so I was just checking JPJ's Instagram. He posted their Polaroid. He posted him with a fishing net And maybe there's something symbolic about that fishing net because he caught that fish, and there's something in like catching fish. There are so many fish in the sea. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? But definitely thinking that the sleuthing points to them getting back together. Also, the whole thing with Connor was totally set up, right? Yeah, like, yeah, probably, well, probably set up. Um, I mean, who knows how much Connor knew in the whole thing, or who knows how much each of them knew until obviously he was in the hotel room. He definitely knew she was coming up um, when he was in his hotel room. He might have left, and it might have been producer influenced, but definitely at that point, I feel like he knew based off his reaction. Is really not surprised and kind of. I mean, you know something's up also when a camera crew is ready with a microphone on you and ready to take shots from your angle inside your room. You know something's going on. But definitely it was something that was like just for drama. Yeah, and he was just in his like his I don't know swim trunks. I thought they were like I don't know boxers or something for a second there. So maybe he decided that his best chance with her was without a shirt. And Fancy Pants, thank you so much for the super chat. Thoughts on Clay and Nicole, and is he really going to dump her at the final rose ceremony? Um, is he going to dump her? I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, we know for sure from the previews is that they make it to the final rose ceremony. Um, I have I have a lot of doubts about them as a couple. I think there's a lot of, to be fair, I think there's a lot of pressure from Paradise to put forth this image of, okay, we're super in love, we have to be super in love by this point, and ready for an engagement. So so I think they're getting a little bit caught up in that, or at least Clay is. I mean, when you think about it, Clay 3 months before was with Angela, and he's probably and then Angela shows up, and that whole business happens. He's probably very weary about jumping right back into that whole stuff. But then there's the pressure from the show, um, and he might very well say, okay, you know what, for the sake of our relationship and staying with Nicole, I will say it, and then that will be it. We'll just kind of leave in love, and maybe we can talk about it afterwards. But nonetheless, I do think it's a bad sign for a relationship to be in that kind of say you love me or else kind of situation. Usually people don't respond too well to that, you know? So, yeah, I don't see Clay and Nicole going the distance. It's hard to of the couples that are left. Certainly, I have a tougher time with those two. And yes, and there's a lot of people who are saying that, and there's been rumblings. A lot of people on Twitter seem to have stated that it's going to be Peter who's going to be the Bachelor. But we haven't had an official confirmation yet. So, and Clay still had feelings for Angela. It was so obvious. Certainly, there was a lot left, a lot still left to be played out. I don't know what the right way to say it is. Certainly, there was something that was still unfinished with Angela there, and he kind of obsessed over it. At least from what the we saw in the show. What happened during the rose ceremony with Luke? There was a long turn. Okay, so yeah, so there was a. Sorry, I hope you're safe. I hope you're safe. And no tornado has torn through your house. I'm gonna assume by the fact that you're on the internet that you're okay for now. But Luke at the rose ceremony, he went up and with his rose, he asked Bree if uh, if she wanted to accept his rose and explore something, which is right in the last few days of Paradise. Um, and he went up before Matt Donald could go up, and Matt Donald and Bree were a couple. Matt Donald was either with Bree or with Sydney, basically at this point. But Luke got up first, gave out the rose, and Bree said, "Nah, no, I'm not here to explore things with you." And then she went back, and then Chris Harrison came out and said, "Does anybody want a rose from Luke?" And then it was just silence. And Luke went home. Chris Harrison was like, "Okay, you gotta go. No one wants your rose. Bye. You gotta be in a couple." Why did Bree turn down Luke but then accept Matt Donald just to dump him? Um, Possible explanations are they didn't know how much time was left in Paradise. Um, and another possible reason was, okay, she wanted to get a rose from Matt and then see how things were. And then Matt kept referring to her by her looks and as a supermodel. And then she said, "Okay, nope, bye." Yeah, and Matt 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 Donald, he seemed to refer to Bree only really as a supermodel and be interested in that, and then dump Sydney, who he apparently said he had strong connections and could talk all day to. But it seems like that isn't just editing, as that's the reason why Bree dumped him, because he only talked about her looks and stuff. Editing obviously plays a huge part in how we perceive the people on the show. The editors can pretty much do mostly what they want, but supermodels have feelings too, okay? When does Bachelor start filming and air? I don't know exactly when it would start filming. I imagine they'll start doing promos pretty quickly. They'll start doing they'll go to their hometown and do filming with the family, and then the intro segments where they talk about their past, their time on the Bachelorette or whatever it is, and where they're from, and yada yada yada, their story. And then not long after that, they'll begin night one, and then January it'll begin again. So Sydney deserves better than McDonald. Yeah, she you know what? She really got the rough end of, she didn't get a lot of positivity on this Bachelor in Paradise experience. She was with Mike, and apparently I remember around the wedding episode, she was saying, "I was really hoping that things were gonna, you know, ramp up with Mike, and we'd have an opportunity to have a nice night out at this wedding." But then Mike went off to the after party, and Sydney didn't, and then it just kind of ended from there. And then with Matt Donald, it was the kissing fiasco, and then he immediately kisses Bree on their date, and then that's it. They're done. So, do you think down the line Luke P will ever be invited to Bachelor in Paradise? That's a tough one. Um, I mean, it's hard to put anything past the people at The Bachelor. I do think that's possibly a storm they might want to avoid. We'll see what a year does. Sometimes a lot of time can change. And, distance turns away some of that negativity and the idea of, ooh, drama. Maybe, but I say low chance. And Teresa, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. Is Hannah saying I love you but a fake out? I think so. I think we've seen like time and time again this shot, which on the channel we've sleuthed out, is Hannah and Dylan. So I think there's no doubt they get engaged, and they're going to be the solid couple all the way through to the after the final rose. No problem. There's going to be a lot of drama. We've already seen a lot of drama already, but I think that'll be their go-to. Like, this is the easy love story. So, yeah, filming of the new Bachelors around October. Yeah, since the first Monday in January is when it's going to air. Yeah, it's usually about a couple months, somewhere approximately 2 to 3 months. At least for the night, like the introducing the Bachelor to the women portion. And Nat, thank you so much for the super chat. Luke handled rejection so gracefully. I stand. Yeah, you know what? Like, yeah, he really was. He said, "Okay, yes, of course, yes, understood." I think at that point you just kind of gotta suck it up and say, "All right, time to go." And I also think Luke was on his last leg. He knew this was the last opportunity for something here in Paradise, so he made a shot. He probably knew it was a long shot, and so when it didn't work out, he probably wasn't too surprised. And so, yeah, Chris Harrison did him dirty asking if anyone wanted his rose. I wonder, is there an official protocol? He said, so Chris Harrison said, "Oh, this has never happened before." Is there an official rule like that they have to go through where, okay, now according to the rules, we must ask anyone if they want the rose, and then if Luke wants to give the rose to them, then they are allowed to proceed forward. Otherwise, you must now be thrown into the lake of piranhas and sacrificed to the Bachelor gods. Like, I don't know if there's something specific that has to be done there. But will there be off-season content on the channel? Absolutely, there will be. I'm gonna probably in the next week or so, I'll send out a blast on my on the community part of the YouTube channel. I sometimes post things like if there's a reaction to something, a new piece of very prominent sleuthing or whatever that wouldn't fit into a new video, or whatever problem. I'd post it there. I'll probably post something saying like, what would you folks like? Just to get an idea of what people want. And try to do something like that. And I'll also still try to put out Bachelor content. Obviously it won't be necessarily as consistent as what we've had, but there's still going to be stuff there. So keep tuned to the channel. And of course there's going to be previews coming out eventually in likely December for the new season of The Bachelor. I'll see what sleuthing I can do, post videos on that. So there's going to be stuff. And then, of course, we'll be back in January with everything. And Elena, thank you so much. I love you and the work you do. Thanks for supporting the channel. Also, are you Canadian? I don't know. That's part of the mystery, right? Or maybe not a mystery. But I certainly can only be from a couple of places. So I'm not a Brie. I'm not putting on a fake accent. This is what I sound like normally. But once we get closer to the face reveal, I'll start releasing a little bit of info maybe as we get closer and closer. So yeah, Tyler is beyond Bachelor Nation. Did someone mention like Tyler as a Bachelor? Yeah, no, he is outside of the realm now, that's for sure. He is not going. I don't think he wants, nor do I think that the Bachelor. Well, that's not true necessarily. That the Bachelor producers wouldn't want him as Bachelor, nor he as would want to be. But I think he's in a relationship with someone else. I'm sleuthing you. Uh-oh. Yeah, Tyler went to Gigi's grandma's funeral. Yeah, so he's in a relationship. So I don't think it's possible. Even if he wasn't, I don't know. I'm not 100% certain he would have been the pick that the producers. But it's hard to ignore the amount of followers that he has. So who do you want to be the next batch? I am Team Mike, but if it's Peter, I'm not upset. So I'm not like anti Peter really. when they announce the girls for the next Bachelor, can you please find a way to have your post make a prediction? Okay, yeah, certainly. I'll have I'll figure something out. I'll put like 23 treats all in a row, and the one that they pick is going to be the winner. So that'd be pretty funny. When will The Bachelor officially be announced? It's going to be next Tuesday, a week from today. So that is the 17th. It will be after the final rose, or whatever they call it for Paradise, after the final mimosa. And they're going to be there live. Looks like they're going to be coming out. So we'll see. Is there an episode on Monday? I do not believe so. I think it's just on Tuesday. We're just going to be seeing an episode on Tuesday because Dancing with the Stars is going to be on Monday. I was curious about it this last week, what they were doing, if this was going to be the finale tonight. It seemed strange. It seemed like they didn't have enough time to wrap everything up based off of what the previews were showing. So, and they hadn't really made an official announcement online or anything or anywhere. And there wasn't any programming decision shown on their website. But yesterday it seemed clear that this is what they're doing, and now it's official. So engagements and after the final rose is all on Tuesday, I believe so. So it looks like it's going to be, they're either going to do the first hour, all the engagements, and then the second hour, bringing the couples on. Or maybe they'll do the first 30 minutes engagements, or not engagements, and then whatever time left is for the after the final rose. Or they're going to do, sometimes they do it they start off the episode live or quote unquote live, and then they go into footage, and then they come out and say the first couple that goes out is Clay and Nicole, and they show their whatever happens there. Then they go back to the quote live discussion with them two, and then they'll go in, and then okay, it'll be Dylan and Hannah coming out, and then they'll come back in. They'll do one of those two options. Do you think Clay and Nicole get engaged? Absolutely not. I don't necessarily know or think that they will break up, but definitely not engaged. I can say that for sure. About how Clay is handling this whole situation. What's going to happen with JPJ and Tasia? They're definitely going to get back together. We saw on the preview JPJ getting down, like apparently on one knee or whatever, which is a fake out, a proposal fake out. But they both seemed really happy there, and Sleuthing has indicated that they've, based off of their Instagrams, that they are still together. What do you think about the crammed crap story with Connor tonight? He sure forgot about Kailyn in no time. It was something interesting. Definitely seemed a little premeditated, a little bit planned. I don't think much about it at all, really. You know, a good, like, honestly, yeah, he forgot about Kailyn real quick, but Kailyn sure forgot about him real quick when Dean showed up. It all happened so fast, Obviously, it's never easy to take someone just, like dumping you out of the blue real quick, even if you've only been together for a day or two or whatever it is in Paradise. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if the timeline was so short that, yeah, he was totally fine thinking about Whitney and getting back together with her. How long do you think the fight will be between Jordan and Christian during the after the final rose? Oh jeez, I know it's gonna happen. I joked about it the other night, but it looks like it is gonna happen. They're gonna have some sort of altercation. Get security out there. Make sure there are no pinatas. Maybe we'll all come out okay. Rip Revian's screen time. I know. Absolutely just thrown into paradise at the end and then nothing. Between fantasy suites, engagements after paradise, and the new Bachelor announcement, don't know how that's going to fit in 2 hours. It will. Oh, trust me, it will. They will get fantasy suites out of the way real quick. Engagements will be, I don't know. There will only be a few of those. They'll pump those out in like 5 minutes each, and then it'll be an hour for after Paradise, and the Bachelor announcement will be right at the end. That will be just a couple of minutes. It won't be a big, huge thing. So, do you think Kailyn and Blake's text will be a discussion during the night? That is a great question. Um, I think it will be hard to avoid. I imagine um, the people at the Bachelor will want it to be a topic of discussion. Sometimes they might look at it and say, we're going to try to avoid it. We're going to try to cut it out. But no, I think it's something that they will allow to happen if it comes out, and I can't imagine it not coming out. Between Kailyn and Blake, So I imagine we'll hear something about it. And if we don't hear something about it, on the After the Final Rose, I guarantee we'll hear something on social media afterwards. So maybe they'll spice up the engagements with the couples on the couch. Yeah, they might do that too. Usually, yes. Usually the rings are given to them. They don't like buy the rings. It's part of like an advertising deal. Um, Usually, though, they have to if they want to keep the rings, they have an allotted amount of time that they have to stay together. Um, so it's something like at least on The Bachelor, it's like 2 years or something like that. Do you think that JPJ proposes to Tasha at the final rose? No, I don't. But I think they will be together, but not engaged. Yeah, a free ring. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, you're not just gonna okay. Let's collect our free ring and get the heck out of here. No, no, no. You have to endure 2 years together in order to keep the ring. Do you think Dylan and Hannah are still together? Yes. Yes. Yesterday on the live chat, there was someone who mentioned that there were pictures of them still together, going somewhere around locally. Someone took. So sleuthing that they are. I mean, take it's the internet. Take someone's word, you know, with a little bit of grain of salt. But yeah, JPJ offers Tasha his final chicken nugget. Now that's I don't know. You could say that's more. That's more than any engagement ring could ever be. The engaged couples have 1 year to stay together, and then they can keep the ring. A producer confirmed in an interview. I guess. Oh, okay, cool. That might be. I thought I had heard in somewhere in an interview or something like that that is 2 years before, but that was for not for Bachelor in Paradise though. So it might be different for Bachelor in Paradise. Again, don't take my word on the Bachelor in Paradise stuff. But do you know where I can see it? The Instagram stuff, probably Instagram. Um, or Google search something like Google search it Hannah and Dylan Instagram or something. I don't know, but I don't know specifically, but 2 years, 2 years. Sorry, I don't know if it might be different for Bachelor in Paradise. That's what I heard, and I'd probably heard, and I'd heard that like somewhere around like back before Colton season or something like that. So it could be different now, but and that was with Neil Lane too. Will Colton get a bachelor ring even though he left the show not engaged? Like a Neil Lane ring? Probably not. Probably not. You have to actually get engaged on the show. That being said, I'm sure if you are a bachelor couple, you can get a Neil Lane ring if you get engaged. I know that Astrid and Kevin, when they got engaged very recently, they said this was all without any bachelor like influence or anything like that. They were going to use their own ring, their own everything. So I wonder if perhaps it's a possibility for them, or it was a possibility for them to do something with one of those like Neil Lane rings. So I don't know, but I wonder based off of what they said in their post about getting engaged. What do you think of Sydney as the Bachelorette? Uh, Nothing against Sydney. It will never happen. They will definitely choose someone from this season of The Bachelor, this upcoming season of The Bachelor, to be the Bachelorette. It would take something crazy for it to be someone from a past season. It would mean like no viable options, nobody single, or nobody wants to do it from this upcoming season. It would for them to like search past seasons. Um, I think Sydney would do well, but it's not. It would never happen. So we are getting down to the finale. There is really not much time left, so we're going to be getting to the last few minutes here of the stream. So if we've got questions before the finale, trust me, I'll go through everything I can for the preview breakdown. See what we can sleuth out. I'll look into the preview in more detail, but if you've got questions, let's get them out now. Why do you think they've done more past seasons of Bachelors than Bachelorettes? Because they didn't come up with the idea to have a Bachelorette for... They had seasons of The Bachelor right off the bat for a number of seasons, and then like, you know, halfway through they were like, oh, let's also do a show with The Bachelorette, and then they started that. Do you think they'll introduce 5 women for The Bachelor like they did 5 men for Hannah? I'm not sure. Part of the reason I wonder that they did that for Hannah is because of the time frame. The time frame was much smaller in between the end of The Bachelor and the start of The Bachelorette. So they pretty much had everything ready to go right after the airing of after the final rose. But they might have a few men ready to go. They do like to do that, but typically it's for The Bachelorette because of that smaller window between the end of the season airing and the beginning of filming. Could Derek be the Bachelor? Very tiny chance. I mean, it's not no chance. Like there are a lot of guys where you would say it's no chance. I would say he's third in line. So that's, I mean, something. Do you think they will bring Winter Games back? No, they probably won't. Maybe they will for the next Winter Olympics. I think it was a tie-in to the Winter Olympics that they were doing something like that, but I doubt it will be back. Just want to say thank you for all the effort you put into the videos and the live stream. Thank you so much for joining and chatting and watching. I really appreciate it. It's so awesome to share and talk and dish all this stuff with everybody. Was it Katie's hand getting a ring? Same nail polish as she wore tonight. Was it a fake out? I think it's Katie's hand. I mean, who else would it be? I'm both excited and sad to look out for your final breakdown of the season. I know it's going to be bittersweet, but there's going to be more programming coming on the channel, and at worst case, we're going to be back in January, back with the new stuff, and even earlier because there's going to be previews, and there's going to be sleuthing. There's going to be stuff to look out, and new stuff for the channel. Thoughts of Peter being the Bachelor? I think if he is, it looks like that's what's going to happen. It seems to be where things are headed. I think he fits the bill pretty well. What I would have liked to see something a little bit different. So I don't think we'll get a drastically different, or we'll still get a good season. And you know, Peter's family is going to be there. And Peter's family is great. Yeah, and fair point. The Bachelor premiere isn't for 4 months. We would all forget who the women were next week. I mean, people forget after like 2 months too, right? And that was what it was for the Bachelor. It's less to do about remembering who they are and more about like, ooh, something, some cool thing. But I would say likely not. We likely won't see. Are you uploading tomorrow? I'm gonna try to. I'm not gonna guarantee that I will, but I'm gonna try to do it. Worst case, it'll be Thursday, and we'll do the same as the last week. Good night, pups. They are. Oh yeah, they're already fast asleep. But the pups say good night in their dreams. Hope you start following Australia. Yes, I'm going to be catching up. I'm not fully caught up on Bachelor Australia, but I am catching up. Is the tell-all filmed right after Paradise or a few weeks after? Just want to know how fresh the relationships are in there. It's not immediately after. I think they aired it like a couple weeks ago, or they filmed it a couple of weeks ago. I don't take my word on that, but um, I it'll be pretty close to what it is now. Are you gonna watch Hannah on Dancing with the Stars? I will be following her. I will be watching a bit. That's mostly the only major connection to that show for me at the moment, but we'll see. Did we ever see that shot of Luke throwing the water bottle? I don't think so. I don't think we did. I think I know the one you're talking about from the preview, and he's kind of crying. I don't think we ever did. Um, I think it's just one of those things. There's always a few shots from the previews that they leave on the editing room floor. So, do you think Hannah might go on Bachelor in Paradise next year? Maybe. It's something that they've slowly introduced. Like, it seems sometimes that Bachelor in Paradise or Bachelor Australia, there were a lot of things that sometimes are testing grounds and introducing bachelors and bachelorettes and stuff like that happened on Bachelor in Paradise. So Australia, so maybe it will. Maybe it will happen. I could see it. I mean, she'll be single, right? So why not? Or she may not be, but as of right now, she is. So that's going to be the end of this post-show live chat. We've got one more episode in a week, so get yourself ready. It's going to be the last episode before the Bachelor off season, the darkest time of the year. So don't worry though, we're still going to have videos. There's going to be a few videos coming out in the next couple of weeks for sure after the finale and everything like that. And then we'll still have content coming. And then of course as it gets closer to The Bachelor in January, we're going to have previews, sleuthing and all that coming out too. So there's going to be stuff. So thanks for coming out. Thanks for all your questions. Thanks for chatting with me and for chatting with each other. Until next time, Bachelor Fantake, out.